be with us on this Friday edition of Ed Schultz News and Commentary. Lots in the news this day. We're going to be hearing from Ohio State Senator Nina Turner, also Lanny Davis of the Hillary Clinton campaign, and Senator Sherrod Brown is going to be along later this morning to visit with us. All right, big story. At least the politicos think it's a big story. The Sanders campaign, I guess you could say, is being sanctioned by the DNC because there has been a breach of access of voter information. A Sanders administrative assistant has been fired from the campaign after viewing and having access to some voter information from the Hillary Clinton campaign. I don't know what it means. I don't think it's going to bring down Bernie Sanders at all. The Sanders campaign apparently had warned the DNC several months ago that the company that has been providing the data service to the DNC was not secure enough. And so now a staffer has been found looking at some voter files and voter information on the Hillary Clinton campaign. That staffer has been fired. They have put out a statement in the Sanders campaign saying that it certainly won't be tolerated, and they've taken care of it. But they also pointed out that they warned the DNC of this problem months ago. It doesn't speak at all to either candidate's character. There's a lot of things that go on into a campaign. I guess so you could say that this is Bernie Sanders' email scandal, if you want to equate it to that and be a real politico on it. For more on all of this, and also the good news out of the Sanders campaign is that they picked up two big announcements yesterday, two big endorsements, Communication Workers of America and also the Democracy for America. That was a group that was headed up some time ago and has been very active in recent years. A grassroots effort on the Democratic side that all started with Governor Howard Dean. This is Bernie Sanders reacting to the CWA endorsement, which comes from the employees who are members of CWA.
I think what we are seeing is a lot of grassroots support in union after union throughout this country. But that support has not necessarily trickled up to the leadership. What I would have hoped is that unions who believe in democracy would have done what the CWA is, really create a wide open process. Now, maybe we'd win, maybe we wouldn't win, I don't know. But I think we would have won a lot more national union support.
And the senator goes on and talks about how he's going to defeat Wall Street and what he's up against.
Over 2 million contributions have been made to the only campaign that rejects a corrupt campaign finance system. You can't level the playing field with Wall Street banks and billionaires by taking their money. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I approve this message.
Well, there's good news and bad news. For more of it all, let's go to former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner. Nina, good to have you with us.
Good morning, Big Eddie. Glad to be with you.
How is the campaign accepting this news in the wake of a staffer being fired and this voter data information being viewed by the Sanders campaign from the Clinton campaign? What about all that?
I mean, certainly it's nothing that any campaign wants to have to say, but the campaign handled it properly. They fired the staffer. They acted swiftly. They condemned it. They said it will not be tolerated, and the actions show that they will not tolerate that kind of behavior. But as you pointed out, they did warn the DNC that there were some problems with this company. It's just very unfortunate that it has to spill out this way, and it also feeds into a conspiracy that is floating in the Democratic circles, as you know, that the game is rigged against Senator Sanders. And so, you know, the DNC is going to have to answer to that as well. But I'm hopefully all this is cleared up and that the senator's campaign can get that voter file back, because that voter file is necessary to be able to target voters and win this race.
Well, that voter file, can Bernie Sanders win Iowa without access to the voter file? And for our viewers and listeners, the DNC has pretty much sanctioned the Sanders campaign. They will not have access to this voter file. How critical is that?
It's very critical, Ed, but also in the reading of the article, it's my understanding that once they have a meeting with the DNC to clear up any misunderstandings and anything that might be outstanding, to be able to prove that none of those files were copied, I think they can get that file back. They have to have it. Now, on the good news side of this, Sanders' campaign has been in Iowa for a while, as you know, and so they've been campaigning and door knocking and penetrating. So I'm hoping that this can be cleared up rather quickly, but I think the work heretofore that the campaign has done will ultimately give them what they need.
How important is the CWA endorsement, considering it's coming from the members and not the leadership, and the track record that they have of doing boots on the ground and the necessary work door to door?
Oh, tremendous, Ed. It is very symbolic, and I agree with the senator. He hit the nail on the head. 6 weeks worth of voting. The faithful got to vote. It wasn't some top-down edict that you must support this candidate or another candidate. Senator Sanders and the other Democrats were able to compete head to head, and Senator Sanders won. 6 weeks worth of voting from the rank and file members, and they voted for Senator Bernie Sanders. I think it's tremendous. The symbol that the CWA is also sending in terms of their fundamental belief in democracy, even when it comes to their members being able to select the type of select the candidate that they want for the presidency. It's absolutely tremendous, and this is a big deal, and I'm so happy for the campaign.
Nina Turner with us, former state senator from Ohio, and now with the Sanders campaign. You've been doing a lot of work in South Carolina. Tell us about it.
Well, at the beginning, I've been to Iowa twice. I'm on my way to New Hampshire. I haven't quite penetrated South Carolina, but I'm on my way there next. But we are traveling to all the states, traveling but to these early states right now just to get the senator's message out. And I will tell you, when I was on the ground in Iowa, Senator Sanders did a criminal justice forum, which I was one of the panelists along with him and 2 ex-offenders. The majority of that audience were white Americans. But the senator talked about the travesty in this country that you have a justice system that does not treat black and brown folks equally, and that we collectively, whether we're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, all of us in the mosaic of humanity have to do something about it. And to hear those ex-offenders tell their story to a majority white audience, to me that really speaks to the character of Senator Sanders. He doesn't have a different message to white audiences that you have to audiences of color. He tells the truth. He talks about listening to people. It's just been powerful. And just the excitement there for him, especially among young folks. And I got a chance to meet some young sisters who they're not even old enough to vote in, but they all about feeling the burn. Whatever Senator Sanders has in terms of how he motivates the young people in this country, we need to bottle it up because we need people to be excited and for them to get out there to vote for this democracy to work. But I am very excited about the work that we're doing. I'm on my way to New Hampshire now. I'll be there for the debate with him, and I'll be in the spin room after that, and then I'll be heading to South Carolina.
Nina, what do you sense from the Sanders campaign, the rank-and-file workers? Clearly, they have to be frustrated that the Sanders campaign isn't getting anywhere near the attention nationally as Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or anybody else on the Republican side who's running. The corporate media has really shied away from Bernie Sanders. There are surveys out there to show that he's gotten very little time on the air. Is this how much does this stick in the craw of the workers, the folks that are out there, knowing that they're for Bernie Sanders, thinking that they're not getting a fair shake?
It's very frustrating, and nobody wants to think that the game is rigged, but the corporate media has locked Senator Sanders out. They barely say his name.
Is that the phrase they're using, that he's been locked out?
Yeah, that's the phrase, and everybody knows it. But I tell you, they are resilient, and they are not letting this hold them back. They know that we have to use alternative forms of media, use social media in a deeper way. Programs like yours, thank you for talking about Senator Sanders and his message. But we gotta play the game. You know, urban poet Tupac once said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." We don't like what's going on right now, but we're not going to let it stop us. And so the campaign staff, they're resilient. They understand the rules of engagement, although it's unfair, but we're continuing to fight the power.
From Ohio and with the Sanders campaign, Nina Turner with us here on Ed Schultz News and Commentary. All the best. Thanks, Nina. We'll do it again.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet. Of course, everybody is gearing up for the big Democratic debate on Saturday night. It's the worst night for television viewing, and the DNC has placed the next Democratic debate on a Saturday night on ABC. As I pointed out earlier this week, the network that has covered Bernie Sanders the least.